Hey, Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Barakathum to the brothers, and Yahweh Shamar Alatham Bashim Yahweh to all the sisters, man. And this is your Thursday scripture breakdown class. I'm just getting it started for the Adawan Karak. 5 Thou going to come in here and take over this class and get it going. But I just want to start it off and let you know, if you Black, Hispanic, and Native, that the Bible is made and written for you. It's written for your attention. In this book, we have laws, commandments. This is the book of guidance. And we're supposed to follow this book. But in today's times, we seem to just follow the way of the world, which lead us into the situations we are in. We're going to bring out Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. And it reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the Lord, unto the voice of the Lord thy God." So like, hey, Sean, how you doing? I don't want to watch you tune in, Shirley. Salaki, Israel. Yeah, so like I was saying, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native, this Bible is written for you. You know what I mean? This Bible isn't written for everyone else. So we can't do what the rest of this world do. We can't take part in the activities that they take part in. And we're going to get back to the scripture, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. It's going. Go ahead.
Where were you?
Sorry, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. You know, the Lord tell us what we can do and what we can't do. And this is going to get into more depth of him explaining it to us. Because we tend to think, you know, we're grown. Once you hit 18, you don't have to listen to nobody. You know, you can do it the way you want to do it, and that's just not right, man. The Lord is the leader of Israel, man. Of the Black, Hispanics, and Natives, our God, Yahweh, is our leader, man. You got that, sis?
Yes.
Okay, Most High in Christ. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15, and it reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." So, man, look, he said this day he commanded us. Now, this is the book of Deuteronomy. This is one of the first books in the Bible. So you can just imagine how long ago that was, that day that he commanded this for us. And then we fast forward to this time, we have not hearkened to what he said in his book. So guess what? We're dealing with high blood pressure. We're dealing with having to fight with our daughters and fight with our sons, mother against daughter and father against son. You know what I mean? We're dealing with plagues that the heathen nations are dealing with. Homosexuality is a big one in our community. Murder, fornication, adultery. You know what I mean? All these things are attacking our community, and it's just out there for us. Now, I'm not saying that other nations aren't affected by it, but when you looking at it from a broad view, you only see these issues attacking Black communities, Hispanic communities, and Native Indian communities. All right, they'll put it on TV for you to see. They'll put it on Love and Hip Hop so you can see how. And listen, you shouldn't judge a Black household or a Latino household based off of Love and Hip Hop. But when they see that on TV, guess what they say? That's how every Black woman acts. That's how every Black man is. And then what did they do? They knew that, so they came out with Love and Hip Hop regulars, couples. Now you got a Love and Hip Hop with nothing but homosexuals on there. You know what I mean? It's just. Then they created Atlanta Housewives, where now you're looking at Atlanta Housewives who are supposed to be an uppity version of women who just get drunk and fight. No respect for each other. They have no morals. They don't care. So the Lord said, what? If you don't hearken unto his voice, these So like, if you don't hearken unto his voice, to observe to do all the commandments in his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall overtake you. And then back in that time, you had heathens who used to Sodom and Gomorrah. All of that, it's kind of seeming new to us, but it's been happening in the old biblical days. Heathens been raping each other. That's just never was an Israelite custom. We're the ones who will walk around with humbleness. Our women will cover their heads. Our men will grow the beards out. Everything we do now is taken from the heathen, taken from the oppressor. And if you want to get a job, you got to shave it up. If you want to get that promotion, you got to look the part. And what's looking the part? Dressing like the oppressor. You know what I mean? Walking around, high-fiving homosexuals, accepting it. You know what I mean? That's what and that's a curse. And these curses the Lord put on us. Why? Because we turned away from him. And I'm going to continue on. Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Look, even in the city will be cursed. Meaning, like right now, I'm in Oakland, California. San Francisco, we call it the city. Do you know how cursed that is? To be in San Francisco, look, you have to accept whatever goes on there. That's a cursed place. You walk, and what I mean by that is you see everything. Homosexuality, you see people walking around talking to themselves, crapping on themselves. You see all the most craziest things in San Francisco. But it also happens in Oakland. It also happens in Stockton. It also happens in Sacramento. It also happens in San Jose. And these are the curses. We won't be able to go anywhere to escape reality that we've turned away from our Lord and that these curses exist for us. You can't. You try to go to a white neighborhood, guess what the curse is going to be? They're going to be looking at you. Police going to be following you around. You know what I mean? They go have a smirk on their face. They're going to be spitting in your food. They're going to do everything they can to you. That's a curse. That's why it's so vital for us to be separate. Like I respected Martin Luther King. I didn't agree with his religion base, but his whole formality and what he thought was perfect for Black people. If Martin Luther King would have had a more of a upside than Dr. King, we would be in two different places right now. Because he wanted us to be separate. He wanted us to have our own. Dr. King felt that, well, if we integrate it, they got to accept us. No, they don't. You know what they're going to do? They're going to continue to kill us. They will continue to murder us, continue to rape our women. Now you open up a door for them to feel like they can do anything to us. And that's why we have to accept what they do. The Asian community not accepting that. If you're a homosexual and you go into your Asian mom or pop's house and say you're a homosexual, they own you. They won't have nothing to do with you. I don't care about none of that. But in the Black community, you go into your mom's house and tell your mom you're a homosexual, she go, well, that's okay. I still love you. You're still my baby. That's unacceptable. And we don't put any structure or any muscle behind what we do. Like we don't teach our kids like, hey, this is how it is. If you come in here and do this wrong, you're going to have to face the consequences. We're the only people who always turn a blind shoulder to it. And this is why our community and our neighborhood and our families are the most affected when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? You got anything you want to say, sis? You know what I mean? This is why we're so affected. But in the ISUPK, that's why the Wada Wayi Howard Shah for Commander General Yohana in the ISUPK and the officers above me, because the ISUPK is presenting brothers and sisters with the true breakdown and the true meaning of the Bible, and let you know there is other ways and other avenues. It's by following the law, statutes, and commandments. That's it. You know what I mean? And once we get back to it, we'll begin to have households coming together. We'll begin to have father and sons growing up together, and your sons really loving their father and taking on what the role that their father had. Women loving their man. You know what I mean? And taking on that womanly role of taking care of the household, making sure her house is taken care of, and men will do the same thing. All right. So we'll continue on. Verse 17. Cursed shall be thy basket in thy store. Look, everything you have will be cursed. Everything that you think is in your possession will be cursed. Whether it's from the food we eat, that's a curse. I brought it out last week. I haven't seen an orange with a seed in it, and I don't know how long. You know what I mean? And I'm sure if I go to Piedmont and hit a grocery store in Piedmont, I guarantee I'll find an orange with a seed in it. You know what I mean? Like everything we touch seems to be bad. Although we're the most, if the world would patent themselves after blacks, Hispanics, and natives, this world would be so much better. But because of us turning away from our Lord and these laws and commandments, we're here to suffer. We're yes man. We're no man. You know what I mean? We don't have it together. You know what I mean? We got to get back to our way of life, and that's following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. Verse 18, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kin and the flock of thy sheep. Look, man, cursed shall be your fruit, man. Let me see. Your fruit of the land, your fruit of the body and the fruit of the land. So that means the food. I brought that out. That's the food cursed. And then what's the fruit of your body? You know, sis? Yeah. The fruit of your body is your seed. Because you know what I mean, what you bring out. Your child. Even the child will be cursed. How do we know that to be true? Because we can look back in LA when that Asian dude or the Asian woman shot that little black girl in her head and said she tried to steal some oranges. When on video you can see the little girl put the money on the counter. The little girl all she was trying to do is get her milk and go. She dropped the money on the counter, grabbed the milk. Soon she turned around, the Asian woman shot her in the head. They didn't put a stop black crime bill. You don't see that. You see these mass shootings that happened in the past few weeks. The other day it was a shooting in Oakland. I guess there was some Issachar brothers and black brothers were shooting a video at a gas station. I ain't heard nobody protest about that. I barely heard it on the news. Right. You know, because they don't our problems is our problems. But when it's their problems, it's everyone's problems. You know what I mean? It's the problem with the way accepting, the way we're allowing ourselves to live, how we're coming together with them. Because like I said, we're some of the most kindest people. And they know this. They play on that. But first, before we can love anybody else, we got to love each other. That's the most important thing. Without loving one another, we won't have anything. You know what I mean? And the truth is in the pudding. You can just see it. No black banks. So when you want to get a house, you got to go to the oppressor to get a loan. And guess what? You're not going to get that.
If you do, it's going to be high interest rate.
Man, and you ain't going to be able to, you won't see the whole time period of having a house because you're going to be in foreclosure. Right. And then what they're going to do, they're going to come to your rescue? No, they're going to put you on the street. And then if you get evicted, 7 years before you can get it off your record. So you mean to tell me, even if I got the money to pay for it, for 7 years because I got this eviction, I can't get a home? Right. So I got to sleep on the ground. It's just not right. You know what I mean? And we wouldn't allow that to happen for our people. But because we have no power, it can happen to us. You know, it don't happen to their people. You'll hear, what was it? I was just seeing it the other day. Joe Biden, the president, he came out and spoke on that instantly. He spoke on it. And the crazy part about it is it's an Asian man who was killing his own people. They you know what I mean? that stuck out to them. They care about that.
Yeah.
Ukraine. They gave Ukraine over $1 billion. And they still have yet to fix their wrongs here in America with the black people and Hispanic people and Native people that they oppressed and gained everything off of. They wouldn't be able to give Ukraine $1 billion if it wasn't for the damage and the harm that they did to black, Hispanics, and Natives. And they still doing it. The other day, a black man got beat. There's more information coming out. Got beat by 3 black cops, and I guess maybe from what I'm hearing, 2 paramedics was involved with it too. It's like,
and they got fired instantly.
Yeah.
The white police didn't.
Oh no.
Talking about they get ready to charge them with murder that fast. We don't have that when it's the other side.
So do you know if they're in custody, sis?
No,
they're not in custody. See what I mean? Now, man, and that's light for it to be some black. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. But because they're doing the work of the oppressor, they can get that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You see how when they killed Floyd, how long it took them to arrest him?
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't even know if they're going to press charge or not. And all of them, they don't know if the DA is going to press charges. You know, it's like, why not?
Yeah. So we gotta wait for the DA to press charges on something we clearly seen.
Right.
We clearly seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But so y'all gonna wait for that. Now, if the tables are turned, it's a problem. If you think about how they did the black people as far as Black Wall Street and what all the things we had, it's cities that black people built that's underwater right now. Because they was like, no, they'll never be able to go back and revisit this. This won't be a monument for them to go back and be like, this is where we start. We had this. This was ours. No, we're gonna put it underwater. Oh, the first black hospital? No, we're gonna run a freeway through there and knock all that down. They won't never be able to come back and even just say this was this. We don't even give them an inch of courage or motivation. Why? Because they know the power that we possess. And that's okay, because my mom used to say, everything that glitter ain't gold. Mm-hmm. So if we can go back to that and see that, we might be like, okay, well, this is the opportunity for us to be like them and get it what we need to do. In reality, that's not it. Our answers is this Bible, following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. That's when we're going to really reap the benefit of what we should have. So like I'm going to continue on. Verse 20, the Lord shall send up thee cursing, vexations, and rebuke in all that thou settled thine hand unto for to do. Look at that though. He said he gonna send all he gonna put rebukes in Salakia and cursings on anything you set your hand to do. How about that? Anything you brothers seeing all these rappers on the TV show want to be a rapper, want to be the next hot rapper. Man, listen, that's a curse field. As soon as you put your pencil to write a few words, if you want to make it, it got to be, let's kill this nigga. This F this broad. You know what I mean? It has to be that form if you want to be what you want to be. And what you continue to do is curse your people. Go ahead, sis.
I'm curious too. Remember when they had the restrictions on what you said, what NWA and all that, when it was coming up? Yeah. What broke those walls? Did the white man see how much money was involved in it?
Well, it was, so this is, from my understanding of how hip hop went at that time, you got to go back a little bit before it. And that's how we do in ISUPK when we break down scriptures. So we if you don't know something, we'll go up 2 or 3 chapters before. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go up a few more years before NWA. Mm-hmm. What do we have? We had KRS-One. We had Fight the Power. Mm-hmm. People running around Black Unity. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So when NWA came out, it was just something different. Mm-hmm. And then you had our own people, some people speaking up about it, like, no, we don't, that music ain't cool. It ain't right for us where we going. And they had a good point. They were right. Mm-hmm. But the oppressor seen the movement that the NWA had behind it. Mm-hmm. You had, man, they made so much money, they changed rap. So what the oppressors end up doing, you know, they end up coming together. They had like a seminar where they invited all of the record labels, owners and producers, if they were, you know, oppressors, and they pushed the narrative that this is the new wave and this is what we're going to push. You know, that's why I said the other day, it's anti-Semitic to push music like this. Like, like even if we had the kingdom, the Lord would not allow us to have these heathens, you know, us pushing this to them and having it. That's just not the type of people we are. You know, if we had the power, I wouldn't give their children genetically genetically refined food. I wouldn't give them fake oranges and fake apples. I wouldn't give them candy with fentanyl in it and razor berries, because that's not how we get out. You know what I mean? But they do that. They're crafty. So like we go. Matter of fact, let's go to Psalms chapter 83. These are crafty people, man. Everything you need to know is in this book. We're going to go to Psalms chapter 83, verse 3. Let me know when you get there, sis.
You said 83, 3?
Yes. So this is the book of Psalms chapter 83, verse 3.
All right.
Okay. The book of Psalms chapter 83, verse 3, and it reads, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against the hidden one. Who America taking crafty counsel against and consulted against? That's that. See, I said they came together and was talking. That was them consulting, and that's them taking that crafty counsel to say, okay, we got the stage. Let's push them this way. And then what happened after they did that? Rap music, gangster rap. Brothers start killing each other. The rate went up high, and they start making movies, Menace to Society. And all these movies started having influence in this hood. So they was like, okay, we got something going here. Let's hit them with homosexuality. Then you start noticing that in movies, and it wasn't really a popular thing, but they always sprinkled it in. Now what they're doing, they're getting even more craftier, and they see the results. So now they're putting it in the kids' cartoons. You can't find a cartoon. Yeah, you can't find a cartoon now without having a form of that.
Sexuality.
Yeah.
Just crazy. I remember when we used to watch cartoons, you wouldn't even see, even like I Love Lucy. They slept in separate beds. You know, you never seen, you barely see people kiss. And now it's like nothing. It's like fairness showing, and and on regular TV. Yeah. And it's the thing, it's like, I cannot believe it, because when I was coming up, none of that. Oh God, none of that.
If you use the profanity word, they'll beat it. But now,
it's free.
Man, free. The only people who ain't free to say what they want to is the ISUPK. You can have these people with the same last name. I ain't got to, say, because they might shut us off, but they can do whatever they want to. They can do whatever they want to, and they want to get away with it. Why? Because they are the ones who are controlling this. They're using their crafty counsel. They have consulted together against the Lord hidden ones, and we're the Lord hidden ones. That's why we're the only people who never knew who we were. We're the only people who can't say, let's go back home. And then they tell us we African. And that's all they tell us, is you African. Yeah. Y'all Africans. But why would we trust the oppressor? He's never done anything to give us a clue to trust his word. That's why it's very vital for us to come together and get into the ISUPK and the Commander General and HANA and learn who we are. You know what I mean? The oppressor will never tell you who you are. Because if he's come out and say, okay, you guys, you right, y'all are the people in the Bible. Think about how much that would change our community. Think about how much more pride we are taking to helping each other instead of walking past each other. You know what I mean? And talking down on each other. And not helping each other get up. You go to any work spot and you have I guarantee it's two black brothers, two Hispanic brothers, or two Native brothers who don't like each other. Just because of the work environment, just because they want to be on top of each other. And that's just the curses that we have for them. You know what I mean? So I'm going to continue on to verse 4. This is heavy too. Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. See there? You just African. You just African. Now you look at Europe. How many nations they got over there? They got what? They got Ukraine. Russia got his own nation, but they all the same. They all the same. If we the same, they the same. And then if I say that, they'll say you wrong. They get to talking to me then, but we can all be Africans, and they can't be wrong. You know what I mean? Even our own brothers who are the Salvadorians and the Latinos, those are our brothers. We are all one people, but we are not the same nation. Right. It's 12 tribes of Israel. Why was it 12 tribes of Israel? And they all look the same for the most part. Why was it 12 tribes? Because the Lord let you know that it's different tribes, different people. But we are all under one umbrella. And if you look at those 12 tribes, all those people are going through suffering and turmoil right now. You got the brothers from Salvadorian who will walk miles and miles and miles and miles just to get to the border and get chased through the water by oppressors on horses and beat them, turn them back around. You had the Haitians. Remember when the Haitians migrated all the way over here? The only brothers that came to their rescue is the ISUPK and the Commander General. When they brought them food, set them up, gave them covers, blankets, clothes, talked to them, let them know who they were. You didn't see the oppressor over there. You didn't see Creflo Dollar with all that money. All that money Creflo got, he could have had, man. They could have had so much food. You know, he could have met them at different stages of their journey. You know what I mean? They would have had it all, but they ain't there for that. They're only there to push this oppressor agenda. And that's why I say to be a pastor in this world for the oppressor is just you just doing his work. You are a Sambo. You're not even Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam had more dignity than these pastors got. You know what I mean? All they want to do is shuck and jive and sleep with brothers' ribs and take people money. That's it. I can't think of the pastor, but he was all on the internet like, yeah, something. I'm supposed to have a look nice. I'm supposed to like his congregation's supposed to get this to him. He started feeling entitled.
How many members you got that's homeless and they got no food on the table?
But you're supposed to be doing this for the Lord. You doing this. You telling these people that to come to this church and believe what you're saying for the Lord. Another perfect example is that dude Jim Jones, who had all the people out here, sold all their homes, all they had, and went with this oppressor, this devil. And what did he do? Killed him.
He killed them.
Massacred them.
And their kids and everything.
Everything. That's the first form of any juice that was given for you to die. I've been before that. I know they was giving us poison and stuff, but he was telling us if they didn't, from what I understand, they was lining up to drink whatever he had to drink. And some of them wanted to turn around and run away. Yeah. And when they turned around, that's when they got boiled down. You know, so never trust our enemy. That's another scripture too. I'm paraphrasing. We should never trust our enemy. You can't, the Bible is not telling, and that's so Christian-like, right? Because they'll tell you, you got to forgive and turn the other cheek. You know, that's Dr. King's favorite. He loved it. And that's how you know that the civil rights movement was so wrong. Because why would you get beat, get slapped, get punched, leave, and come back to get it all done again? That's
no progress.
Nothing. You just satisfying their urge and wanting to whoop your butt. I know they're not here this time, and we finna get them. They murdered Emmett Till. We marching for peace. No, man, we supposed to take some type of a different approach. We supposed to make them feel in different ways. And because at the time we had some form of power. At least we had our own a little bit at that time. Mm-hmm. But now, if they kill one of our kids or one of our brothers or mothers or dads, we don't have any power to make them feel it. Mm-hmm. The bus boycott, that was a good move. They had power at that time. Now, we boycott the bus if you want to. They don't care. Because now if we all come together, Black, Hispanics, and Natives, and we be like, okay, yeah, we finna let them feel it. I bet you they feel it then, and it's something would change. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't even need the Moabites with so-called Asian man. We wouldn't even need his support on that. If just blacks and Hispanics just came together and we just came up with a plan to make them feel it, I guarantee we'll get bills passed for us. Right. You know, but because we're not together, we're not united, we will never see that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna drop that and I'm gonna go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28, and we're gonna just start at verse 1 because it's a way out. You know what I mean? It's slim, but it's a way out. You know what I mean? The Lord tell us that it's a way out. If we follow Him and we hearken unto what He's telling us, like even to how we eating, you know what I mean, and what we're allowing ourselves to drink and take in our body. You know what I mean? Even to how our women dress. You know that I went in the smoke shop the other day just to buy a black tea, and the brother in the smoke shop, well, he's not a brother, it's like it. The heathen in the smoke shop was in there talking to a sister. And he was all in her face. He, you know, she in there, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, I'm thinking like, okay, I know he got a sister. Now, if a brother walk up in here and try to holler at his sister, he gonna be ready to kill him because they know they don't want to be with a part with you. They want to use our women. They want to use us. They like he was calling them step outside. He got a crew of brothers hanging in front of his store. They calling him nigga. He calling them nigga. You know, at one store at Booker's in Oakland, the heathen in that store told the dude some you called him a B, and dude slapped him.
Oh Lord! So
guess what the heathen did?
Got a gun.
And what did he do?
Shoot him.
take control and have our own, we have to come together. And so, like, I'm gonna get into this. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass that if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning it's going to happen if you just hearken, if you hear the voice of the Lord thy God, right? To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, all of them, not just 10, not just 5, all of them. That the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So we'll be high above all nations of the earth. And we'll be able to have things around. The like the brother said, the animals hate the oppressor. That's bad. The animals hate them. You know what I mean? The animals hate them. The birds hate them. The animals in the fish in the sea hate them. You know what I mean? Like it's not one entity here on this world that respects and loves the oppressor, man. Because everything he touches, he destroys. He's wanting to destroy his own people. You can see in Russia, they making nuclear weapons and they know how bad the nukes is. And we just scared because we don't have a defense of our own. But they don't care. They'll kill each other. They'll kill each other. At least black people care. At least we have some sort of dignity. Right. But I mean, of course, now if we look at our neighborhoods, of course we wouldn't, because why? It's dog eat dog world. You know, if you want to be the next hot thing, you got to kill his brother. If you forget this, and it's just the music is so in its own not right. You know what I mean? So if you're feeding yourself with this negative knowledge and you seeing it every day, eventually you're going to start taking part in it. You're going to believe in it. That's why everybody love to be Christians. You know what I mean? They love to follow the oppressor. They can't wait. Shalom Christ, sir. They can't wait to be like the oppressor. That's what they live for. You know what I mean? They don't live to change their community and be with it. Everything is for itself. I know if a person want to be a rapper, a best rapper, he's doing it for us. He's not doing it for his community. He can care less about his community. He's doing it because he wants that house on the hill. And then he's going to have 20 other brothers who want to kill him for that position. And that's how he's willing to go. And that's what I said. You'll be crazy to want to be a rapper today. That's like suicide. Because if you be a rapper today, you best believe that you're finna have to kill somebody, or you're gonna have a number on your back. You know, fight for your life. And they sponsor that. And you can look at I think Sam Cooke. Around that time, Sam Cooke was on to something, but he also loved. You know, he had a good relationship with Malcolm X, if I'm not mistaken, and they loved each other. It was real cool with one another. That's what the oppressor did to Sam Cooke, killed him. We don't really know what happened to Sam Cooke. They tell us what they want to tell us. It's like we don't know what happened to Dr. King. Not that I care, because he was the leader behind destroying our people. But at the end of the day, I heard he made it to the hospital. Really? Yeah, I heard he made it to the hospital.
Well, I seen something on Netflix. They got the 2 killings of Sam Cooke.
Oh.
So it's 2 versions.
Oh. I wonder who tell those versions. You know what I mean? I wonder who tell those versions. Yeah. You know, it's the oppressor. And why are they saying that? Because they know it's going to juvenate money. Everybody, not everybody nowadays, but the majority of people who sitting back at the house going to watch it and see who Sam Cooke is, or have older parents. Like my pops, he used to listen to Sam Cooke. You know what I mean? And all that old school music. So I already know who he is. So if I see that, I'm going to go, let me watch this. And then if I see it, I'm going to say, see, this is what happened to him. He didn't really die like this. You know, your oppressor killed him. He was on drugs and he was dealing with prostitutes. And that's what they tell you. You know, but the truth is, man, they're crafty with what they do with us. And to this day, they still are very crafty.
Yes, they are.
You know, just like Joe Biden telling everybody to vote for him. Donald Trump, vote for me, black people. What do you have to lose? And when you vote for him, you didn't get nothing. You didn't get nothing. Joe Biden the same way. Mm-hmm. He'll talk around the whole black issue, but when something happens to Chinese people, he got to speak on that. If something happened to oppressors, like in Ukraine, when that happened between Ukraine and Russia, have been fighting for years. That ain't nothing new. We just new because they're putting it on TV for us to see. You know, they've been having wars amongst each other. That's what they do. But now it's so important. Yeah. And that goes back to the last war. that they had. The last World War, Ukraine and United. What was that, sir? Cold War. Yeah, exactly. The United States always been in it, in doing that. You know what I mean? But Russia and the United States came to an agreement, and the United States started pushing their agenda even more, trying to get more into Ukraine. That's why Ukraine. If you ask the Ukrainians, they're not Russian, but they speak the same. If a Ukrainian and a Russian start speaking, they're gonna understand each other off top. But they say no, we're not Russian.
Yeah, I know it's true because I had at work there was a Ukrainian patient and a Russian nurse. And the nurse refused to go in there because the Ukrainian patient would talk about her. That's when they first started their fighting. And she wouldn't go in there. She's like, I refuse to go in there. She's disrespecting me. And I'm like, you can't refuse the care of a patient because of their police.
So she didn't want to even help her? What?
Yes, but you can't. That's against the license and the nursing. You can't refuse a patient because of their beliefs. And she refused to go in there because she went in there. She didn't know until she started talking to her. And she said that the patient was saying, "Oh, you're a messed up country. They're attacking us. They're doing this. They're doing that. They need to leave us alone, and you're a part of it and stuff." So she come flying out of there. We're like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Oh no. She says I'm Russian and she doesn't want me in there. She's from Ukraine and she's Russian." And it was a mess, and she really did not take care of that patient, and she didn't get chastised for it at all.
Wow.
So it's against the license and the nursing for you. That's discrimination.
Right. And if you black and an oppressor or old man call you the N-word and you nut up on them and yell at him, they will fire you because they'll tell you you're not professional. And see, that's what I'm saying. And that's why we have to separate from them. And it's like, it shouldn't take us to go through something so traumatic in our lives to be like, oh, we need to get away from these people. I'm going to be the one with the bright idea. No, man, it's people out here pushing this agenda, but they don't want to hear it. You know, that's why I love to call the truth the Matrix. This isn't the Matrix. You know what I mean? When they had the sunglasses on, you ready, sir? Hey, Shalom Christ, I'm bringing up the other one. Karak 5,000. Hey, Most High in Christ, sir.
What you talking about?
Just, I was in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 15, covering the curses.
What was your topic idea?
Just was breaking down how separation, how we need to separate from the oppressor. How we have how we need to separate from the oppressor, and just how all the curses and the plans are channeled towards us.
I'm sorry, Chris, cannot stop talking about that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Captain Katazai.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Going up against that, I would call him a famous rapper. You know what I'm saying? He's famous to the point of people will listen to him before they'll listen to us. You know what I'm saying? And he went in there, did a masterful job. It wasn't even practice for Cap. That was so easy. You could tell he just was like, you low-hanging fruit, man. All I got to do is talk about things that are obvious to everybody, and it's going to be, you look dumb.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he, you know what I'm saying? He really showed why we have to separate. That it was such a good moment because it was like, I think he said he was born in 1987, right? So all his life he had, and he said when he went to jail that they basically said, you black,
Right.
You honorary nigga. So he went his whole rap career having black people pat him on the back and say, oh no, you straight, you just like us. You know what I'm saying? He probably said nigga, you know what I'm saying? Only to finally come up against overwhelming force and find out that, you know what I'm saying, you've been lied to. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let's get a Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19. And then we'll go into the topic of reincarnation.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, you guys. Sorry. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, verse 19. And it reads, O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit.
And that's what Cap was trying to help me understand. Like, you are not hip hop.
Right.
You're not rap. You're just like any other nation of people that just tries to get down with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the worst part about it is anytime a Black, Latino, or Native tries to defend another nation, it don't matter if they're Asian, Caucasian, it doesn't matter what type of shun they are, what type of needs they are. You know what I'm saying? In the end, they have a country to go back to. You know what I'm saying? They have an identity to fall back on. And I was saying the same thing with Nipsey Hussle, right? Nipsey Hussle is Eritrean, something like that, you know, nigh unto the Ethiopian. So yeah, he had a big impact on LA, and he did a lot of great things for the Black community. He should. He's using our identity. Like we missed that part. They're copycatting us. No different than a Jewish man is copycatting us, claiming that he is a Jew. They should do a lot for our communities because they won't even give us the recognition that we deserve. Like, even in that situation, he was like, look, if you accept being a guest, you will accept you, and or an adopted child. And that Chinese man was like, nah, I'm none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still hip hop. Like, I think he was selling shirts that said, I am hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they do. And then Black people that buy that, they buying it for themselves, but he's getting the money. You know what I'm saying? He's making the increase off of our ignorance and our systematic destruction. All right. Let me get one more, and then we're gonna get to the topic. It's in Psalms, where it says, Moab is my washpot. 1 second.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
And what was also heavy is that the heathen was actually on there saying, I can't go back to China. I can't go to China.
That's a damn lie. Psalms 108, verse 9. He absolutely can go back to China. It's the same way we can leave the truth.
Right.
And our families are going to take us in. You know, that same family that was like, oh, I thought you was in that cult. I thought you didn't believe in the white man. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was part of that hate group. If you come back around and say, nah, man, that was just, I was just something I was doing. I was just being rebellious. Oh, man, they're going to take you back with a ham sandwich, and you're going to eat it. They're going to welcome you back with a blunt. You're going to smoke it. It's the same thing for China Mac. China Mac can denounce his rap career and go and bow and, get in his fighting stance. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they be like, my son. You know what I'm saying? That Asians only denounce you when you do things with Black people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Even if you did something with white people, they wouldn't denounce you. Right. You know what I'm saying? But the minute you do something where Black people get some praise from you, man, you're no longer part of this family. Right. You know what I'm saying? They took the damn, I forgot what it's called, where they kill themselves. It's a whole Yakati something. But they take the knife out and they right up in their belly. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They'll do that to themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? But, we have to fight them because they're fighting us, even though they're only where they are because of us. Right. You know what I'm saying? Eminem, take a back seat. Nipsey Hussle, take a back seat. China Mac and all of the rest of them, Machine Gun Kelly, it don't matter, any industry. It could be R&B, it could be rock and roll, whatever it is, they should take the back seat. Why the hell did Chuck Berry get a part of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame after he he might have been alive, but most of them be dead. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, how the hell does that happen? You know, why is Rick James dead? He's dead not because he was an artist. He's dead because he did so much cocaine and was living life so wildly because he was just running from the oppression. You know what I'm saying? But they choose to run into the burning house. We trying to run out of the burning house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 108, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Moab is my washpot
Uh-huh.
over Edom.
Moab is the Chinese. The Lord said the Chinese are his white washpot over Edom. You understand? Moab is where the washpot is where you take your dirty laundry. You know what I'm saying? And Asian people, man, they in their element, oh, they some nasty people, man. You see China, it's just like when you go up to San Francisco, when you see it from a distance, like, oh, look at this beautiful place. But then when you get in them streets, you're like, ugh. That's the same thing it is like it is in Shanghai and all those other places. You get in the city, you be like, this is disgusting. They are stacked on top of each other like sardines. You know what I'm saying? And it's worse than the projects in China. And it's billions of people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the Lord said they are his washpot. Go ahead, keep reading that.
Over Edom
Mm-hmm.
will I cast out my shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Over Philistine
Mm-hmm.
will I trumpet.
You know what I'm saying? He's gonna triumph over the Africans, which is the Philistines, and he's gonna cast his shoe out over the white man, Edom. Meaning he's shaking his shoe, the dirt out of his shoe over the white man. You know what I'm saying? Which is everything is saying that they're beneath us. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture say, trust not thy enemy. And that's what China Mac is. He's just another oppressor or angel of the oppressors in this case, who simply crouches down, says, I'll do this for black people. And then before you know it, I'm not a guest to hip hop. I am hip hop.
Right.
Out of your damn mind. You're a goddamn traitor to your people and a culture vulture. You know what I'm saying? All right. So from there, let's get into the reincarnation breakdown. All right. Get Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. I know you've been teaching for a good second, so I won't be too elaborate with these. Mm-hmm.
Chapter 1,
Verse 9.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9, and it reads, the things that have been, it is that which shall be.
The thing that have been is it, that which shall be. So what has been is what will be. So this was once here, is going to be here in the future. All right. And it's the same thing. Keep going.
And that which is done is that which shall be done.
What is done in the past is going to be done in the future. That's how reincarnation is. You were here in the past, you'll be here in the future. You're in the present right now. You were in the past, but you're also going to be in the future, right? And you got to think about it like this. You couldn't read this right now if you weren't here right now.
Right.
So the thing that is done is also the thing that will be. Meaning I can read that because I'm here in the present. There's the past me, there's the present me, and there's the future me. And that's how the life cycle works. Keep going.
And there is no new thing under the sun.
Now, people hear there's no new thing under the sun. This didn't exist 4,000 years ago.
Right.
Microphone didn't exist. Cell phone with Wi-Fi and 5G didn't exist in the past. But there is something that did exist in the past. And we're going to break that down further. From there, let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 15. That which hath been is now,
Mm-hmm.
and that which is to be hath already been.
Like I just said, that, Salaki, That which have been is now. Like I just said, the now is what? What would you call now?
In a moment.
What would you call it? Boom, boom, present. This is the present is the now. All right. So that which have been is now. Keep reading.
And God
It's like it. Right after that part. My bad.
is now.
And that
which is to be have already been.
And that which is to be, that's the future, have already been. So you got the now, you got the future, and you got the past, because nothing has changed. Keep going.
And God required that which is past.
Meaning the Lord going to require what happened in the past for your present. So that's why the life we lead in this life affects our future, because you're going to be judged by the Lord in the future. All right. Let me get that one that I'm looking for, where it says it is man. Damn it. Give me a half a second. From there, let's go to 2 Maccabees 12 and 43. But let me pull this one verse first. Is man. Okay, Ecclesiastes. One second. Nope, not the part of the one. Nope. Go ahead and read that one.
Come. The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 12, verse 43, sir?
Yeah.
Verse 43. And when he had made a gathering throughout the company to the sum of 2,000
No sweat. Let me get there.
Jack.
It might be a quantity. First Maccabees, right?
Second Maccabees.
Second Maccabees.
12 and 43.
12, 43, Salaki. Second Maccabees 12 and 43. Is Drachms. No sir.
Of drachms. To the sum of 2,000 drachms of silver, he sent it to Jerusalem to offer a sin offering, doing therein very well and honestly, in that he was mindful of the resurrection.
He went and paid his sin offering to the priest, because he was in consideration of the fact that when he dies, he's going to come back. All right. And that's one thing you have to understand about life. It ain't just this one time. God damn it. Where's that verse? So like, we're going to keep going.
Come on, sir.
No. Job chapter 8, verse 9.
Come on, sir.
Let me get this verse. I always forget where this verse is, man. When you got it, you can start reading.
Come on. Chapter 8, verse 9, sir.
Chapter 8, verse 9.
Come on. The book of Job, chapter 8, verse 9. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are as shadow, or a shadow.
Right. It's the end of that verse.
Come on, sir.
Yeah. So the read one more time.
Come on. The book of Job, chapter 8, verse 9. For we are but of yesterday.
We are but of yesterday. And that's just to have your mind less vain about your life. Like, we all go the same way. Everybody is going to die. And it's saying we are but of yesterday, which is the past. Go ahead.
And know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow.
We don't know anything because we're not here that long. You know what I'm saying? And we spend a lot of our time not even finding the truth, searching for the truth. Our understanding is usually basic at best.
Right.
You understand? We're just like you're the 4-dimensional or the 3-dimensional conclusion of life, right? But we're like a shadow. Your shadow is just one dimension. You know what I'm saying? Your shadow don't get everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we have to understand how important you are, but how unimportant you are if the path you walk is wicked. If the path you walk is vain, your life doesn't matter. And it is like a shadow. It is but like something that happened yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It's so important for us to come back to this knowledge so that at least we make the most out of the days that we have on the planet. If we don't make the most out of the days on this earth, then who gives a damn what you did? Like General Hyman said, if your life is just about getting wigs and getting your nails done all the damn time, what good are you? You understand? If your life is just about dribbling ball down the alley, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know I don't be playing it. You know what I'm saying? Down the alley, that's bowling. If your life is about dribbling the ball, shooting it in the net, you know what I'm saying? You think the ironsmith don't have time to be caught up in the scriptures. The sports athlete, you understand, the Instagram model don't have time to give a damn about what it's called for us to do in this life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's, it can happen when you're 80, which most high in Christ, if it happened when you're 80, it happened when you're 60, 50, 30. I wish I'd have found out about the truth from birth. Right. You know what I'm saying? But we don't all get that luxury. So what we do have, we want to make sure that it's worth the time. Like it. 1 second. I know what this first is. Okay. Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10. That's the one I was looking for. And I initially wanted it. Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 10. I initially wanted it right after Ecclesiastes 3 and 15.
Would you like me to go back to the 3?
No, it's good. Do it.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, verse 10. That which hath been.
Go ahead.
Is named already.
Meaning what has come before has already come and passed. All right. And it's been named. You were who you were in that life. You are who you are in this life. And you're going to be who you are in the next life. Keep going.
And it is known that it is man.
Keep going.
Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he.
Now, go read that again from the top.
Come, sir. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 6, verse 10. That which had been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Mm-hmm.
So the things that we were reading about before, and the now, and the after, the thing that we're talking about the whole time is man. Right. Because you reincarnate, you come back to this plane. All right. It has been named already. It's already been decided that you're going to come back. All right. That's just how life works. All right. Keep going.
And it is known that it is man.
Mm-hmm.
Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he.
You know what I'm saying? The beautiful thing, like Ecclesiastes tells you, there is no recollection of your former life. So you can't really contend with who you were any more than the next time you're alive can contend with who you were in this time. Because even though we may die and come back in the kingdom next time in Christ's return, that don't change the fact that you did a lot of stuff in this life sacrificing for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? When the kingdom is established, it's established. But what we did in this time, we took the steps to reestablish the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That's hard work. Look at this. this is hard work, man, to get this building. You know what I'm saying? To consistently have the lights on. You know what I'm saying? To keep your zeal. You understand? Like that, we have examples, right? We got High Priest Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? We got Mashah. We have all of those brothers of the seven heads that they were in a room much like this, playing Pekino and Bid Wiz. You know what I'm saying? Waiting on students to come in. And then before you know it, a Commander General Hunter walked through the door. You know what I'm saying? But that takes work. That takes not giving up. But that's a totally, then it would have been in your former life. Right. In your former life, you was on a damn plantation. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, pick a certain amount of cotton, maybe. You said, or whatever job you had. You know what I'm saying? We don't all get to pick cotton. Some of us probably had a horrible job catching niggas. Right. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what jobs they had us doing? Some of us had to warm up them beds, but that ain't good. Just because you're in the damn house. You know what I'm saying? I was watching a TikTok and it was talking about how, I wouldn't say after the Dark Ages, after we ruled Europe, like a lot of those Brits, like they took baths twice in their life. When they was born and when they got married. Brushing your teeth, having white teeth was actually looked down upon. And like it was like you was poor if you had white teeth. So they actually enjoyed, they cherished having a disgusting visual appearance by today's standard. And body odor, they didn't even clean themselves. They would just rub perfumes over their dirt. You know what I'm saying? But like that's who, was in charge of us back in that former life. You go back, but each one, you don't know who was mightier, and you can't contend with that. Right. Just like Solomon can't contend with Christ, even though they're the same person. They both have their glory. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what is already named, and that's man. Man is what dies and comes back, just like a fruit and a vegetable. It's the life cycle. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah does the excellent breakdown with the onion. Right. So how the only reason you get this onion is because another onion had to die. Same thing with the seeds of an apple. To get that tree, you got to kill the apple and take the seeds and plant that. All right. So from there, let's go to John chapter 9 and verse 1.
The book of John.
It's an excellent reincarnation scripture.
The book of John, chapter 9, verse 1. And as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth.
Now, Christ was walking by, a black man, you understand, with his disciples, and he saw a man that was blind from his birth. Now, is that normally a good thing to be blind from your birth? Like if you was blind from your birth, it'd be like, damn, that's horrible. And you got to think about the times that we were living in that back then. It wasn't like these times, you know what I'm saying? When you got the damn walking stick, got braille everywhere. Back then, if you was blind, it was like, damn, man, y'all cursed. It's a plague in your household. You know what I'm saying? So they walked past this brother. He was blind from his birth. Keep going.
Verse 2. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?
So what do that tell you about our culture when it comes to life? Why would they say, did this man sin or did his parents sin? Why would they even use those two categories to determine why he was blind from birth?
Because we inherit because of our parents.
That is one reason why. But how would you inherit the sins of your father?
Reincarnation.
Exactly. He had to do something in his life that caused you for his sins.
Right.
So your husband, your father was a dope dealer. You know what I'm saying? So, he got crack in his system. Guess what? You got crack in your system. So you paid for his drug dealing. Not only did he hurt other families, he got high on his own supply. He had sex. He had you. You're a crack baby. You understand? Or the cocaine or whatever drug of choice. I'm just using a poor example. And you suffer for that because that is a part of our culture. We said that the sins of the child's father causes the child's teeth to be rotten and razor edge with sour grapes. All right, rough paraphrase, right? But what was the other part they said? They said, did this, it's like it said, master, who did sin? This man or his parents? Now, why would they say that this man sinned to be born blind?
Reincarnation.
What would that mean though?
That
For him to be born blind, what are they saying?
That he was here before.
But how was he here before?
Born before.
But how? Was he a good guy, a bad guy?
Oh, it's like he thought it was bad.
Exactly. We like to, oh damn, he was born blind. Well, then what the hell he did in his last life? Why you blind? You know what I'm saying? What did his parents do that was so bad that this man was born without vision? Keep reading.
Verse 3, Jesus answered, neither had this man sinned nor his parents, but that the work of God should be made manifest in him.
Christ said he didn't do anything in his former life. He wasn't no bad boy yardie in his former life. His parents didn't do anything, which means no matter what level of sin, we don't know the ranking system,
right?
Not the ultimate rank system. We know don't do this. If you do that, you pay like this. We know that much, but we don't know the exacts of what the Lord is determining how he's going to judge you ultimately, right? Because the Lord, his mercy is his strongest attribute. So Christ said he didn't do anything, nor did his parents do anything. He was born this way so that the works of God can be manifested or worked through him. Meaning he was born so I could heal him of his blindness. He was born blind so that I could heal him from being blind. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the three options we get in life. Either you messed up in the former life, your folks messed up in the former life, or this life and you paying for it, or you're the way you are because that's how the Most High wanted you to be. You know what I'm saying? But either way, it all comes from a working knowledge of us reincarnating as people. All right. So from there, let's go to Psalms 104, 29 and 30.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104.
Sidebar. I remember I was talking to the sister about reincarnation when I was in the streets before I came into truth. And she came to me. She said, what about my mom? Is she going to come back? And I was unlearned. I was just like, I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I hope so. You know what I'm saying? But now, because of the truth, I can answer those questions. You know what I'm saying? And that's so important because the worst thing you could ever do is give people like Creflo Dollar, right? Remember Creflo Dollar said, I figured out that, I've been doing this for 30 some odd years and I've made mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it wrong. And I know y'all bought all my books and my cassette tapes and my CDs and my DVDs and my VHSs, all of that. But you can go ahead and throw that away, man. I was wrong. Like, damn, no, man. Like you done got grandmas out of their mortgages, man. Like people done given you their last nickels, thinking that you a prophet of the Most High and that they can get a blessing by blessing you. Like when it comes to the scriptures, you can't figure it out years and years later down the line, you're gonna get people killed. You know what I'm saying? Playing with these scriptures, man. Just like again, what Captain Katazar did was so masterful because he helped that Asian. He helped that Asian person the same way it'll help a Jewish person to know that they're not the actual Jews. Like they treat it like it's anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic. It's Asian hate when it's actually love for our enemies.
Right.
To tell them, hey man, this ain't got nothing to do with you. So go on about your life, man. Stop rapping. Go play that weird instrument. Go do that. Go do what your people do. Because I'm doing what my people do. Before I learned the truth, I also was in the streets acting like a white boy, American, participating in drive-bys and selling drugs and going to jail and doing everything out of order because I didn't know who I was until I found out, oh, okay, I'm an Israelite. Oh, and this is my culture. And this is how I'm supposed to deal with I'm not supposed to speak about shooting my brothers. I'm supposed to be uplifting them. We're supposed to be separating. Like all of this helps Asian people that think they're black, helps Asian people that think that the Bible has something to do with them. No, go do Buddhist stuff. That's your culture. Go to a Shaolin temple. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with the Jewish man. Just you run the world already. Continue to run it, but you're not the Jew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hurting you to do all these bar mitzvahs. It's hurting you to fight against the Palestinians in a battle that we wouldn't even wage.
Right.
Like, Jews ain't got no problem with Palestinians, but Jewish people do because they went in there and they ransacked and stole the land, even though it's all ours. You know what I'm saying? But the real problem is if you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to hurt innocent people. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about the Bible is it's not the number one selling book on planet Earth for no reason. You know what I'm saying? It's important that this is studied correctly, taught correctly, and broke down with understanding. All right. So that was Psalm 103, 104. All right, cool. Okay.
The book of Psalms, chapter 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face. They are troubled.
Mm-hmm.
Thou takest away their breath. They die and return to their dust.
You understand? When the Lord says, return unto me and I'll return unto you, that means He not with you right now. The Lord got his back to you. That's like the scripture said. He said He turned His face, right?
Yeah.
Let me read that one more time.
Okay.
Thou hidest thy face, right?
Okay.
They are troubled. So even when the Lord just do this, the Lord He just turns the eye to what's happening to you. We're troubled. You know, we suffer and people start dying. All right. The second part, he says, thou takest away their breath, they die. Who are the they? Humans. In general. It ain't just Israelites right here. Humans in general. If the Lord just hides His face, guess what? Your person gonna go buck wild. And the people that support Him, they're gonna go buck wild right with Him. And we are the casualties of all the war. You know what I'm saying? We're at the front line of the battle being used as shields. And on the other end, we're being drugged out, you understand, whored out and destroyed to all be damned. You understand? Like that's how it goes when the Lord hides His face from us. You know what I'm saying? The world goes crazy and does whatever they want to us. All right. It says, thou takest away their breath, they die and return to their dust. Meaning when the Lord take your spirit out of your body, it's over. And you know, a lot of people, they go to grave sites, right? Every year we go to my auntie, my uncle's grave. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that too with my Uncle Joe. He was one of my only uncles I remember, right? And he buried in Vallejo. So I would go to his gravesite, but he not there no more. I can't even see the body, and two, he not there anymore.
Right.
He went up a long time ago to get judged. You understand? But that's like so much of life is these simple rituals that we end up doing that are pointless, like a birthday. What the hell is the point of celebrating your birth? You was born like hella years ago. How we gonna do the nativity scene for you? We gonna get your mama here. She gonna she gonna put her on the stairs like that. That's your birthday. Everything else is just, yeah, you was born on this day. Congratulations, you're still here. Especially in this life, the way it is, man. I'm surprised you're still here. The way white people is trying to chop us down in the streets. How did you make it back into your priestly, you know what I'm saying, work? You know what I'm saying? Barakatah Yahweh Shai when it's all said and done. But outside of that, if the Lord hide his face, he take your breath, it's over for you. Right. You understand? Keep reading. Verse 30.
Come, verse 30. Thou sendest forth thy spirit.
So this is the Lord. He sends forth your spirit. Go ahead.
Come. Thy are created.
They are created. So when the Lord sends your spirit, how does the Lord send your spirit for you to be created?
Through seed.
Yeah. That's sex. Like it's such a beautiful motion how life works. Right. Like a physical act that releases sperm into an egg, ultimately semen. You know, I know it's one or the other. And in that act, in that belly, the Lord, he sends your spirit forth. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit, it come back. How would I say it? No, it come back down. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the sperm, but that consciousness, that's your spirit being put back in your body, man, giving you the opportunity to live again. You understand? I mean, and you know what's the wild thing about reincarnation is why it's so weird to people. When farmers understand reincarnation better than anybody. That's the same field, but he goes up in there and he plows his lines. You understand? Get it all digged up. He planted seeds and he sees reincarnation all the time. Like, damn, before it was nothing here. Now it's an apple tree. Now it's an apple orchard. Now I can pick. I know when the season is coming. You know what I'm saying? Oh, get them seeds out of that. Shut the seeds out. Boom. Plant another tree. Like he knows about how seed works. You understand? And then life continues. And that's how life is on earth. The Lord, he sends forth your spirit. Keep reading.
Come.
And they are created. Go ahead.
Come. And thou renewest the face of the earth.
That's how you renew the face of the earth. The birds and the bees and your spirit leaving your body, getting judged by the Lord, and then coming back into a new body. Right. And that renews the face of the earth. Just like every blade of grass, right? It's not new grass. Right. It's just old grass dies, new grass comes. It's just a reincarnation of the grass. Because you got to think how retarded it would be for the Lord to just be constantly making brand new versions of humans. If that's the case, then we should evolve. Right. You know what I'm saying? It should be like, all right, there's a generation one human that, you know, was this way. But now this new generation of human, they can jump 17 feet tall, 17 feet high. You know what I'm saying? They can climb Mount Everest without dying. We basically should be sentinels, just able to adapt to any condition. You know what I'm saying? Because over time, we're changing. We're not changing. Even if you read that book, The Black Image and the White Mind, matter of fact, it's in that pile. Yeah, it's a white book. It's right there at the bottom area, I think. Yeah, right there. You touching it. Yep.
Oh yeah, the Black Image and the White Mind.
No sweat.
If I may, sir, is what you're saying is so heavy? That's kind of like what scientists used to say, like black people evolved from monkeys.
Exactly, and that's dumb. Cat Williams said it. Well, where's the old junkie? You know what I'm saying? If we the new ones, how come the other monkeys haven't evolved?
God.
All right. This is a very good book. I need to read through it. But I think it's around page 40. Where is it at? Where is it? Shucks. Where is it at? Might be too far back. The slave character, post-slavery, still life and Africa trade, post. No, where's that part at? Lovable. Comment, gratitude. No. One moment. I'm gonna get it real quick. Gosh, I highlighted a lot of stuff, but not the part that I'm looking for. Okay, I got you right here. All right. So this is page 74 and 75 of the Black Image in the White Mind. Science, polygenesis, pro-slavery. All right, the originator of the new scientific ethnology was Dr. Samuel George Morton of Philadelphia, who published a book in 1839 that promised to bring an end to loose speculation about racial origins and differences by opening an era of hard-headed empirism. Morton's Crania Americana was the result of years of collecting and examining human skulls. As he gathered and studied the crania or the cranium of different types of men, Morton became aware of the difference between white, Indian, and Negro skulls, and of the fact that the ancient crania from a given race did not seem to differ from those of their modern descendants, which means that it doesn't matter how long it's been. You're not evolving. 4,000 years ago, your brain was the same size, your head was the same size. You know what I'm saying? So Morton concluded that the races had always had the same physical characteristics and, by implication, the same mental qualities. In the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glidden, an Egyptologist, a white man, who provided him with mummy heads, information about the racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions in Crania Agra Egyptia, published in 1844. Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes, as abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained, and that in fact blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America, meaning we were slaves back then, and we're slaves now. Right. And our head was the same it was back then as it is now, which by point being, you're not evolving. You're not a human 2.0. It's the same. You're the same thing. In the past, you're the same. In this present time, you're the same. In the future, you're going to be the same. It's just going to be a different body, same family. You're not coming out as a woman if you was a man this time. You're not going to be a rock if you was a woman this time. You're going to come back as a woman, coming back as a man, because before you was a man or you was a woman. Right. Nothing changes. Nothing new under the sun. All right. But I think that was the it of that. Again, and that's how he renews the face of the earth. He doesn't change anything. He puts your spirit back into a body. Matter of fact, get Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. And then we'll get to our next precept.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5, and it reads, Before I formed thee in the belly,
Mm-hmm.
I knew thee. And before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation.
You understand? Like that's so. If it's before you came into the womb, what does another scripture say? It says the prophet subject unto the prophets.
Right.
I mean, if the Lord is saying He knew you was going to be a prophet in the womb, that means you was a prophet in your former life. I mean, you're going to be a prophet in your next life. That's who you are in this life, specifically a prophet. You know what I'm saying? Now, being a blacksmith, all that other stuff, that can change based on your condition. But as far as being a prophet of the Lord knew you were going to be a prophet before you even formed, before the egg and the sperm and the plasma came together to create something. The Lord had already decided, I'm sending you back, right? You're going to come back in this crackhead body, still going to be a prophet. You know what I'm saying? You're going to come back in this household that's in the worst area of the ghetto, but you're still a prophet of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not brand new. You've already been here. Now you're coming back to do what you did last time. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, like Christ, you get it right this time. All right. From there, let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 14 and verse 35. Second Ezra, chapter 14, verse 35.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 35. For after death shall the judgment come.
That's how life works, children. You die, then you get judged for this life. It's like stage clear. That's when they tally up the points. Sonic, when you clear the stage, you know what I'm saying? Tally up the points. How many rings you got? How much time did you take? All of that stuff. That's when you get judged. Go ahead.
That's right. When we shall live again.
What did it say?
When we shall live again.
What did it say?
When we shall live again.
After death, you get judged. When we shall live again, keep going.
And then shall the name of the righteous be manifest,
Mm-hmm.
and the work of the ungodly shall be declared.
You're gonna live again. You're gonna pay for this life. So if you lived a righteous life, you're gonna come back like Captain REI. Father gonna already be in the truth, right? Already, you ain't gonna have to live a life outside of the truth. He must have did something right. To come back in this life and never have to smoke weed, never have to choose a prostitute, never have to choose a bad lifestyle. He had the best lifestyle put right in front of him. So because the Spirit of the Lord is on him, and because he knew he was going to be a prophet before he formed him in the belly, he chose the right side of the tracks. Right. Whereas the rest of us, we came up in some horrible situations, right? Because it's more wicked Israelites than it all is right from the birth. You know what I'm saying? Even when it came to Caleb and Joshua, it was only them two. Everybody else was like, man, all of that, man, they're going to kill us. You know what I'm saying? When Christ was about to be executed, they said, we have no king but Caesar. You know what I'm saying? We all of us, Peter, I don't know him. The hell? I told you. Damn, you did tell me. It's more of us than us that do it right. But, you know, Lord be with those that err. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely with those that do it right. Again, for after death shall the judgment come. You get judged after you die. When we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifested. Then you get that glory in this life. You understand? You get to come back and live the life like, damn, man, you like, I mean, you know, I don't want to say nothing, but you like Moses, man. You like Elijah, man. You like your the way you carry yourself is like this. You like different than everybody. You know, you ain't going for the okie doke like everybody else. And it just comes from having a parent. That's all. Captain Ariel ain't who he is because he just figured it out on his own. He got led in the right direction. Same thing with Christ. Christ, though he was the more excellent brother, Joseph was teaching him. He wasn't just teaching him how to build a table.
Right.
He was like, yeah, this is all we eat. You know, we don't eat pork. I know them Romans devils is ruling over us, but you don't date no woman that's not an Israelite. Right. You know what I'm saying? His father was teaching him so that he had a groundwork to go into that synagogue and be talking to the lawyers and the scribes and breaking it down for them. You know, he had a good father, and a good father quickened his spirit to even be able to be the King of Kings and Lord of Lords that he is. You understand? Was that it? Let's read verse 30. If we did. Salakia. No, just 35, right?
Yes, sir.
My bad. Yeah, boom. And the ungodly, you know, they're gonna be declared. You'll just see how their life, you know what I'm saying. Eric Gardner, he wasn't a bad dude. Tamir Rice, he wasn't a bad kid. Emmett Till, he wasn't a bad kid. You know, none of them. But they didn't get the chance because they was raised like Christians.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They did the things that, George Floyd, he wasn't, perfect in the sense of he didn't keep the law.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we err as parents. We don't know that we're not teaching our kids is what's really hurting them. You know, it's not what we're teaching them. We teach them how to get money, teach them how to get their own house and do the basic things, but are you going to teach them the law? Right. They need to know the law. Otherwise, they're going to get on their own and they're going to end up on a t-shirt. They're going to end up being marched for because you didn't know that you weren't teaching them, the things that allowed them to live. All right, from there, let's go to 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 14. Shout out to Captain Kapash for these scriptures and Officer Shaya Ward for going in and doing his due diligence to really straighten them out. 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 14.
Sir. The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, "It is good, being put to death by man, to look for hope from God, to be raised up again by him."
To be what?
Raised up again by him.
We knew that. You understand? That was the sister with her 7 sons.
Right.
You understand? Getting put to death on the damn torture rack. Like he was like, it's good to suffer, to be raised up again by the Lord. Man, that's the best part. These are just children, children that understood, and in the face of a torture rack, man. Right. On fire, having a scalp peel, limbs, and it ain't like they just cut the arm off. They was cutting fingers off. They was torturing these children, ready to cut the damn tongue off. You know what I'm saying? Burning them, and just horrible. The worst cruelties that they could do. Them Greeks was doing it. And what did that boy say? That honorable young man.
Thus,
from the top.
So when he was ready to die, he said thus, "It is good, being put to death by man."
Go up 2 verses, Baba Bashar.
Verse 12. In so much that the king and that...
One more verse, Salaki.
Verse 11. 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And said courageously.
One more verse, Salaki.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 7, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
After he was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue.
Cut off his tongue, man. Go ahead.
And that right soon, holding forth his hand manfully.
He got his tongue messed up, and he was like, take the arm too. Right. Take that too. Go ahead.
Whoa. Verse 11. It said,
Salaki. He did it like this.
Right.
Put both his hands, like, come on. If you cutting shit, cut these too.
By his tongue on.
Yeah. Come on, man. Let's go.
Come, verse 11. It said courageously, these I have from heaven.
So obviously his tongue ain't to where he can't talk, right? But he messed his tongue up. He bad. He in a bad place, all right? And he said courageously. Go ahead.
These I have from heaven.
Talking about his hands. These have I from heaven. Go ahead.
And for his laws I despise them.
For his laws, man, I'll forsake these, man. I hate since you want to cut things off, I'm not even gonna stop you, man. I hate taking. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter to me. Right. Go ahead.
God. And from him I hope to receive them again.
That's reincarnation right there. He like, look, I don't care about these in this life. Right. Because the God that I serve, I hope he gives them to me again. Right. Like you wasn't punking these boys. These is black boys. Right. That's the real heavy part, man. This is like our sons. Right. You understand? Like, man, like you couldn't, and he got, I mean, his father taught him this, but his mama really just supported them because their father shouldn't have none of this. So he probably already put to death at this point because the way the Greeks was. But what his father showed him and what his mother supported, he was like, man, I don't even give a damn about these hands. You could take them because guess what? I hope I get them back from God when I come back again, man. Like that's scary to kill somebody that know they coming back. You ain't really killing them. Keep going.
You have to give them life.
Right.
Verse 12.
Man, go ahead.
In so much that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage.
They was like, God damn. Just bludgeon his mouth. He stick his hands out. Like normally children, they give in. They like grown ass men right here, man. They marvel. Go ahead.
For that he nothing regarded the pain.
He didn't even give a damn pain that he was suffering. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 13. Now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner.
Damn, they got him and then his brother, they did damn near the same thing to him. Like them Greeks was horrible to us. Keep going.
Verse 14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, It is good, being put to death by man, to look for the hope from God to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
And he's like, look, I'm glad to be put to death by a dude. Because man, the cool thing is that they all got to say some wild stuff before they died. Like, damn, man. I wish as a parent, I hope my children, even though I don't see it, I hope my kids got this spirit in them. Right. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no situation that requires them to have this spirit. But I just hope that on D-Day, they just be like these children. Because he was like, look, he watched his brother get murked. And then he went through the same thing. And he was like, look, man, not only was he ready to die, he said it's good to die like this. Because I know I'm going to resurrect. But as for you bitches, y'all ain't got a chance to resurrect. Meaning y'all not resurrecting to life. Right. Y'all going to come back, but it's going to be for death. It's going to be for slavery. And these kids already came back. Came back, died, came back, died, probably back with us right now. Right. You understand? Like that's the beauty of resurrection. You don't know who's here. Right. Your mama might be back already. Your daddy might be back. Whoever died, they might decide I'm gonna keep them for a millennia. Or he might be like, I'm getting them on the next cycle. You don't know. You might be holding your parent. You know what I'm saying? That died when you was 6. And now you 50. And you had a baby, and look at that little junior. That's your father right there. You know what I'm saying? It's up to the Lord how he gonna do that. But man, to go out like these children, man, somebody's reading about themselves. Right. Somebody. Damn right. All right. So from there, let's go to oh shit, it wanted me to read from 7. We was at 10. Yeah, it's cool. 7 was good. I mean 10. Where we started was good. Yeah, my fault. Boom. So yeah, let's go to Matthew chapter 17, verse 10. We almost there. Let's see what this last one is. Ecclesiasticus 14, 17.
The book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 10. And his disciples asked him, saying, When then say the scribes that Elisha must first come. Let me read that again, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 17, verse 10. And the disciples asked him, saying, When then say the scribes that Elisha must first come?
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elisha truly shall first come and restore all things.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. But I say unto you that Elisha
Mm-hmm.
is come already.
It's Elias. Excuse me. Elias. Mm-hmm.
Elias is come already,
Mm-hmm.
and they know him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they list.
Listen, it says, verse 12, but I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Meaning, he's saying, y'all saying Elias or Elijah. Who was Elias? Elijah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all saying Elijah has to come. I'm telling he's already come, and they dealt with him any old type of way.
Wow.
You understand? Keep reading.
Come.
Likewise
shall also the Son of Man suffer of them.
Meaning, I'm also going to be treated any old kind of way, the same way they treated my disciple that came before me. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
So with what he said, they learned. Oh, we waiting on Elijah to come back. He is back. You saying that John the Baptist is Elijah? You know what I'm saying? That was a gift that Christ had to be able to know whom was. And as you read in Malachi, chapter 4, right? Let me get that real quick. Malachi chapter 4, verse 5. It says, Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. So he's saying the person that said, the one that come out, I'm not worthy enough to buckle his shoe. The one he said, repent, behold, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. He broke it down to them so that when he said what he said, they was like, oh, okay. So John the Baptist was the Elijah that Malachi was saying that we got you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because for Elijah to come back, what would that mean?
That he was already here.
Which is
Reincarnation.
He had to reincarnate, you know what I'm saying? Or resurrection, you know what I'm saying? He had to resurrect. All right. From there, let's get Matthew. This is going to be our last one. Matthew chapter 19, verse 27 and 28.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Verse 28. And Jesus, Yahushua in the Hebrew, said unto them, Verily, I say unto you,
Of a truth, without a doubt, I say unto you. Go ahead.
That ye which have followed me in the regeneration,
Which is another word for reincarnation, resurrection. If you regenerate, you come back. Exactly. In the regeneration, when you come back, go ahead.
when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
So he's saying when I come back to rule, you'll also come back with your own rulership. Keep going.
Judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 29. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or fathers, or mothers, or wives, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. Everlasting life.
You understand? Like you're gonna have a everlasting. Just mean it's gonna be when you live. It's gonna be blessed the whole time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't mean you're not gonna die. It just means that when Christ comes back, these disciples that walked with him, like it's an amazing thing to watch, to read about blessed brothers, brothers that are definitely blessed. All 12, minus Judas, right? All 11, they have a sure idea of what it's going to be like when Christ rules. So since the time of Christ, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Peter, Paul, they didn't die. They didn't come back. They didn't die. They didn't come back. Or the Lord has said, no, I'm going to just keep y'all in the spirit realm until Christ returns. Then you guys will come back and get a body. You know what I'm saying? But either way, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna come for, without a doubt, they come in the very last generation so that they can fulfill this, so they can sit on thrones and rule with Christ. You understand? They're going to rule with Christ because in order for him to fulfill the promise that he said, Christ even said that the ones that killed me, they are going to see me. The one that one that stabbed him in the side, that centurion, even they're going to see the coming of the Son of Man. How the hell could he see it if he's in the dirt? Right. You know what I'm saying? He got to be born in some white family and come back to life and lead a life the same way the disciples got to be born in a Black, Latin, Native family. And again, they're going to be in their own tribe, and they're going to just be in any random tribe. Right. And they have to be in a position mentally so that they can have authority to sit on those thrones. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, is this scripture like talking about brothers and sisters in the truth in ISUPK?
It is, and it isn't. It's more specific to them, but it is us in the fact of there is a reward for all of this. You're sacrificing a lot to leave the world. To be in the world but not of the world, you're sacrificing a lot of anything that you would have done if you didn't come to the truth. But it's a better sacrifice because they were fishermen. Right. They was making bank. You know what I'm saying? But what Christ showed them when he caused them to cast their net in the water and they grabbed up so much fish that it was more than they both could handle, Christ was showing them like, yes, you're good at this. But if you roll with me, what I can give you is better than what you could do on your best day. And I want you to have that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, to give up, he just told him, like, if you gave up, if you forsook houses, brothers and sisters, father, mother, wife, children, land for Christ in the Most High, like, you're going to get something that's greater than what you give up. And it is greater because the culture, even if you want to just talk about polygamy, you giving up a monogamous lifestyle for a polygamous lifestyle. And for a man, that's much better. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're going from only one wife, happy life, to, man, I can have a plethora of women and they follow my orders. We do what we got to do together. I can be a prophet like the Lord told me to be. Like, that's an advantage. Now, I come with this disadvantage because now you got to tame dragons. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to fight lions and shit. But it's different when it's your culture. You know what I'm saying? But everything that even if you're giving up Christmas, right? You're giving up New Year's. What we got? Passover. April 1st, Raleigh, North Carolina, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful 7-day celebration once we get to the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You know what I'm saying? But we also, we got the Slaughter the Lamb. We got the All Black Party. We're going to the plantation. We're checking out the Black Wall Street that was out there in North Carolina. It's a whole bunch of events that's going to be happening. But you're gaining more than you're giving up. You just have to see the benefit. And thanks be to Commander General Yohanan and the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We all get that opportunity, whether we take it or not. With that, to the brothers, Shalom Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua Barakatham. To sisters, Shalom Yahweh Shemar Latham B'Shem Yahushua.